In this line of work, we get to travel and meet people from all walks of life. But the conversation we're about to have is not one of the ones you have heard or seen because of the area we are in. We are at Asin Kushia. It's in the central region of Ghana, and Kushia is actually regarded the cleanest city in Ghana. How that has become the case, well, we'll be honored to hear from the man himself, the traditional ruler of this area. Ehunabobrim Nana Pra Ajinsem the Sixth is the paramount chief of the Asin Orenchi traditional area. Nana, I hope I got the pronunciation of your traditional area right.
Very correct.
And thank you very much for welcoming us actually into your beautiful castle, if that's what we can call this place.
No, palace.
It's a palace.
Yes.
Well, but it's majestic.
Thank you.
Arguably the biggest in Ghana, is that it?
I don't know. I don't mark my own answers. And I know I'm a Ghanaian.
Okay.
We Ghanaians, we exaggerate.
Well,
we exaggerate, so I'll let it pass.
Well, Nana, and you've put in a lot of work into this palace, which is a conversation we would have more and more when we get into this. But let's start from Kushia. Kushia is not just known for its traditional acumen, but more about how clean a city it is. Would you want to share with us how you've been able to achieve this?
Thank you very much for your question. It has not been easy. First of all, we as Ghanaians, we had the tradition of throwing away leaves when we used to eat from leaves. I remember when I was a kid going to school, I would buy rice and stew, and the lady would use the leaf to clean on her lap.
Before
and then put the food on the leaf. After you finish eating, the natural thing to do is to throw the leaves away. In those days, it didn't matter. The leaves would decompose. So we were not littering. But the habit of throwing had been ingrained in us. So when this creature called plastic came, put our food in the plastic, after eating, we throw away, because that is the habit that we had inculcated in us.
Throwing away.
Of throwing away. So my problem was to stop the throwing away.
Okay.
So I tackled the school children, went to classrooms and told them that it's unhygienic to do that. So they should all help so that we'll make Kushia the cleanest town in Ghana. I told them that in my reign, I will not be able to make Kushia as big as Cape Coast, but I'll be able to make Kushia cleaner than anywhere else in Ghana, if they support. And they supported. I empowered them. In Kushia, if you throw away, especially if you're an adult, if you're not careful, a 10-year-old boy will tell you, Papa, he says, I'm sorry, Daddy, here you can't throw here. So please pick it up. I told them to say please, but they should make you pick it up. And it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy. Every Wednesday, we have a communal labor day. You don't go to farm, you don't go anywhere. We used it to clean the town and our houses, and we used to do our gardens. And so if you go to the town, you see normal houses, they've grown flowers. I love flowers, I encourage them.
Yes.
So Wednesday, they use it to do all sorts of, sometimes they don't come, and and so on and so forth. But then this is human behavior. So really, it is empowering the youth and me making sure that they do what is right.
No, that's a good example. And actually driving through the town, we saw school children doing as you've mentioned, sweeping, weeding along the roadsides and things like that. Sanitation is always a big issue as a country that we faced. In bigger cities like Accra, it's been a thing we've struggled to deal with. is it the time for other bigger places like that to be looking at Kushia as an example to be learning from?
Well, every new thing gives an opportunity for people who feel that's a good thing to copy or learn or adapt. I remember I went to a conference and one Paramount Chief, Nana Yeji Mahine,
Okay.
came to me and he said, "You are Nana Prajinsem." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I've been looking for you for a long, long time because I heard that Kushia sanitation is on top and I want to come and find out how you manage this and have a conversation with you." I said, "Yes." Just under a month he came. He spent about 3 days with me here. We were brothers. We went everywhere. When he went back, at that time I had dustbins.
Okay.
A lot. I sent 50 to him also to use. I was happy that somebody thinks that there's something good happening and he wants to copy. It's good. Me, I copy all the time. Secondly, somebody sent me a video, Nana Domahine.
Yes.
He had a 22nd anniversary or something, and he said he would not be good to end his anniversary without complimenting Nkunabobrim Prajin Synthesis for his sanitation work. I had never met the gentleman. I had never spoken to him. And I thought, wow, this is interesting. About 3 months ago, Omahin of Suba in Central Region, he called me. He said, "Nana, I'm launching my sanitation program in my traditional area. Can you please come and chair it for me and talk to the youth for me?" I said, "Sure." So I went to Brown Hartford. There I met Domahine. On my way to Suma,
Okay.
Domahine was sweeping with ladies playing music behind him. He was sweeping and weeding from town to town. Apparently, he had also been invited to Suma.
Okay.
And I got down from the car and I joined him. And it was joyous. The people there couldn't believe. So finally we ended up there and the rest is history, so they say. So maybe we can learn from each other. First, we must learn to understand that there's nothing wrong in copying. In fact, Domahine's example to me demonstrated how confident the gentleman is. He's a very noble man. To have sat on TV and say that my celebration will not end until I compliment somebody else he has never met. This is deep.
Now, Nana, those are examples that actually tell of maybe the need for people to, like you said, copy or follow, as it were. But Kushia is just on the lines of the River Pra, and we had the opportunity to actually go and see the extent of damage that has been caused to the river. You have been here as traditional leader for a few decades. What was the situation then and now, and how worrying a situation is it for you when you look at what the state of the river is today?
When I was installed as a chief here, I was taken to River Pra as part of the tradition, and I had a bath, let's say.
Okay.
And when I got there, I was quite reluctant to go and have a bath with all these things that they've mixed, in the bucket and so on, because I saw the fishes.
Clear water.
Clear. The water was clear. Clear. The definition of water, clear. And then something came called Galamsey from the north side, and damaged the water totally. You can't see, it's like Milo. You can't see anything. And I believe some of the chemicals that they use are also poisonous to the fishes in the river. And so I can only say this in public and say that Galamsey, it is not good, it is damaging the whole country. Our future is at stake, but I have no power to stop it. So I concentrate on areas that I have little power and make it better.
But there are also people who believe that beyond political leaders making attempts to stop Galamsey, for instance, that our traditional leaders also play a huge and a major role in there.
Yes, that is true. And everybody knows in Ghana, politicians, security, traditional leaders, there's some of them are involved. Those who are involved, some of them have stopped others. I mean, I used to be a member of National House of Chiefs. We used to talk about Galamsey and the need for the traditional leaders not only to stop, but to advise their subjects not to do that. But that is as far as I think that traditional leaders as a group can go, and individually you can also advise your subjects not to get involved in that. But apart from that, there's nothing I can do. I don't have the power. If I were made minister for Galamsey, then we will see something. Minister against Galamsey.
That would be a position you gladly accept if there was any such thing.
Well, it depends. If one can get over the constitutional restraint of chiefs getting involved. I mean, I wouldn't consider it a political appointment. Of course, the Constitution makes an exception to someone with special knowledge that can be used. The president or the authorities can employ even though he's a chief. But I don't think I have a special knowledge in Galamsey.
Okay, before we move on to other subjects, just a last one on this. Just because your community is on the coastline of the River Pra, are your people still able to fish?
No. It's poisonous. It's poisonous.
That's work that's been taken away from.
Yeah, they are redundant. Well, they come back to the land, and the little that they can get from the land is what keeps them alive.
Okay. Now we would just return after a brief break, and then we would continue with a conversation. This is still People and Places. I'm speaking with the traditional leader in Asinkusha, Ehunewebrim Nana Pra Ajinsem the Sit. We'll be right back.
Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. Luckiest. Star 712.
How to play and win online. Step 1. Go to the URL or website www.theluckiestafrica.com. Step 2. Click on Ready to Play and register. Step 3. Fill out your valid details to register. Step 4. Enter and confirm the OTP sent to your email. Step 5. Purchase your ticket or generate a random ticket. Step 6. Enter the ticket amount you want to buy. Step 7. Follow the steps to buy tickets for yourself or someone. Step 8. Confirm your ticket and choose your payment option. Step 9. Follow the steps to make payment. Step 10. Verify your phone number. I am Mr. Good Luck, and I'm on a mission to spread luck all around.
Nurse, Baba, driver, bouncer, friends, teacher, banker. Star 712 hash. You could be the luckiest.
Welcome back from that short break. My guest is Nana Pra Ajinsem the Sixth. He's the paramount chief of the Asen Orenchi traditional area. Nana, now this is your palace. It's huge, perhaps the biggest in West Africa, not even Ghana. It's a long story about how you came to achieve this. Would you be kind enough to let us in on when this vision started and how far you've gone with it?
I remember one day I was talking to my wife about Kushia, and she said, "You should build a palace. Oh, you should build a palace before you go. You should build a palace." I said, "Okay, I will." Little did she know that all her chop money will go into the palace. I started building the palace 13 years ago. You see this tree that we're sitting under?
Yes.
I planted it the same day, so they have the same birthdays, the tree and the palace, 13 years ago.
This tree's been here for 13 years.
Yes, and so has this building, which I haven't. The palace is not completed yet. So I want to be intergenerational leader. When I leave this wretched world, I want to be remembered for a long, long, long time. And one of the things that I selected to do, mainly to give my people employment, is tourism.
Okay.
So I decided to put up this palace that will attract internal tourists in the main. I mean, this building here, if you go outside Europe and they've seen it, this is nothing to write them about. But at least within Ghana, within my own people, if they hear that there's such a structure, they may want to see it, and therefore part of the tourism cocktail will be the palace, the fish ponds competition, the crocodile pond, the tomb of the unknown slave, and all part of the tourism offer that I'll be giving to the people, from students right down to executive directors and so on. So gradually, I'm not a wealthy person. Resourceful maybe, but not wealthy. So it's taken me a long time, but I've known palaces that took them 300 years to build. So I've done well with 13 years, and I haven't finished.
There are a lot of rooms, a lot of places like you mentioned, the slave tomb, as well as there's even a mini zoo right in here. But what would you say, or which of the places in this palace is your most favorite?
Oh, no doubt, my mortuary.
Your mortuary?
Yeah, I have a mortuary.
No, you have a mortuary?
Yes.
Right in here?
Yes.
A private one?
Yes, of course. It's not for public. That's why I have my own.
And it's your most favorite place?
Yes. It reminds me of my mortality. So it humbles me. So it's my favorite spot.
That's very interesting that you love the fact that there's such a place, because people don't think about death a lot.
No, but the death is not present. I'm not surprised. And I don't enjoy. I don't think about it, but I prepare towards it because, as I say, I'm an ordinary human being. I must know I will go. So perhaps to the youth and everybody, you will go one day. So if you want to do insurance for your case or your family, do it, because you will go. If you want to prepare, every funeral, there are fights because we don't prepare ourselves for the inevitable. We are running away from the fact that we will die one day. And then Hunabobrim doesn't run. I face it, I prepare for it.
And now give us a mental journey around this palace. What and what? Apart from the few ones we've heard about, what would anyone see when they come into this palace?
First of all, they will see Ghanaian, what a normal, ordinary Ghanaian can do. That people will say that the biggest palace in Africa, West Africa, Ghanaians, we do exaggerate. That aside, they will know that we Ghanaians can do a lot if we apply our minds to it. I don't know if you've been around, but if you've been around, you've been to the banquet hall.
Yes, the one
you've been. Yes, you've been to Nkommo Hall, where they're working. You saw the lights. It's in the form of canoe. It was done here in Kushia. The chandeliers are done by a welder that I use. I called him and
the chandeliers we see up there were done right here?
Yeah. They were done, well, they were done in Accra, but they were done in Ghana. Yes, my son designed it, Fidel, and he called my welder, and we sat down with the drawing for him, and we both said, you can do it. And he did it. So, potentially, Ghana has a lot to offer. A lot to offer. Just show them the way. Just provide the leadership. When I was young, there used to be a company called Elang. Mm-hmm. It was a furniture company. It's in Swiss.
Okay.
They came here. They trained the Ghanaians, master carpenters, became one of the best master carpenters in the world. They trained and they were able to perform. So one of the areas, and also the fact that this building, most of it have been built by locals in Kushia. The masons, the laborers, the painters in Kushia. I didn't bring any mason I brought a supervisor, but it's all the mason carpentry work.
We're done right here.
Right here by the boys around. Ooh. By the boys around. At worst by Ghanaians. And I'm very proud of Ghanaians.
Nana, is there a name for this tree?
Oh, rain tree.
Rain.
Popularly known as rain tree.
Is it because of the shed?
I don't know, but it's. I knew it. I copied it from a friend of mine. He's deceased now, called George Hammond.
Okay.
And I went to his house in Cape Coast. I used to be a regular visitor. So I saw that. I said, wow, this is bigger than my umbrella.
And it's something you want to have.
Oh, so the first thing, I planted it the very day that I was doing the foundation.
Ooh. I see. As a traditional ruler and as a chief, you must be very busy. How are you able to juggle that with your everyday life and perhaps your private life?
Yes. You know, chieftaincy is a calling. When you are called, what you have, you give to your people. When you are not called and you become one, what they have, you will take. I don't, and it's not only chieftaincy, maybe it's leadership, I don't know, but my experience, the most painful part of chieftaincy to me is loss of privacy. You know, I like to enjoy myself, you know, with my friends, my family. Then, you know, we go to a place, we go to a board meeting, let's say Takrady. I have friends who will come on, Nana, let's go, there's a spot here, let's go and have fun. You enter the place, somebody say, oh, Nana, good evening. That's the end of the evening.
Takes away all the fun.
Yeah, it's gone.
But are you able to juggle it? You've been doing this for decades. Have you gotten used to it already?
No, you never get used to losing your privacy. Never. It's very funny. When I used to live in England, and when I read about the royal family pleading for their privacy to be preserved. And I just say, but what's the matter with you guys? You are people's people. And maybe they would like to know what you do. Then I realized that, oh, I see. They must be separate indeed. It's the worst for me. Maybe it is because of who I am.
Okay.
Maybe for other leaders, that doesn't come into their equation because they don't like the life that I like. So they like staying at home and being proper, so nobody will find them anywhere that you're not supposed to be and say good evening, Nana.
And then it messes up everything.
Yeah.
Nana, are you a king?
Yes.
But we've heard this argument over and over again. People refer to the Constitution, for instance, that does not state anywhere that there's any king in Ghana. You consider yourself as a king?
Yes, I do, because the Constitution of Ghana aside, the word itself is an English word. It is not a Ghanaian word. You can't alter it. The English man or woman who speaks the language defines who a king is. And he says that a king is a traditional leader from out of hereditary. Mm-hmm. He must be a male and of no superior. Believe it or not, I'm male. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm occupied this out of hereditary.
Okay.
And I have no superior over me. So by English definition, I am a king. But I don't care what title anybody gives me. But they ask a straightforward question. And that's where perhaps I have a disagreement with my brother Domahine. He doesn't define it like I do. I use English word. The English said from hereditary, male, and of no superior. I sat here because I was a prince.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm a male. And I have no superior over me. Nobody, no human being, it's in terms of chieftaincy, superior over me. No human being. And that makes me a king. But call me whatever you really like, I don't care. I mean, I'm more interested in developing and making sure my people are happy with me than the semantics.
So yours is really got nothing to how you are referred to.
No.
It's in the practice, what you do.
I happen to be a lawyer. I never allowed anybody to call me a lawyer. Never.
Okay.
And the calling is not what matters, it's the speaking. People will know whether you are or you are not. You understand?
Yes.
Right.
Well, Nana, I couldn't avoid seeing a very beautiful thing here. It was a carriage in this palace.
Yes.
The type we would see in England. I mean, the last time I saw something close to that was during the funeral of the late Queen of England.
Yes.
Nothing close to that, but I saw one right here in this palace. Is that something you use?
Now, actually, you're the first press men and ladies that have come here since I got the royal carriage. I've never used it.
Okay.
And I don't know when I'm going to use it. But I've always had challenge about being carried by another human being. It has been something that has bothered me for a long, long time. I ask myself really and truly, and I'm not saying this frivolously, I mean it. that another human being carrying me, I found it offensive. I am nobody to have that privilege of being carried by another human being. I know that it's a tradition, it's custom, but there are several practices that we have stopped. I mean, I have never seen it, but I heard that when the chief dies, they will kill people to go with the chief so that those people will serve the chief somewhere, wherever he's going. That I have heard used to be the custom and tradition. So we should do that today. So if somebody kills somebody close to you because somebody thinks he's so important that he has died, and when he goes, he needs people to serve him wherever he's going. Is that correct? The Constitution of Ghana, I think it's Article 272C, give the chiefs the opportunity to eliminate, that is the word used, to eliminate outmoded customs and traditions, and that is precisely what I'm doing.
So you're working around...
Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Thank you. I think that the time has come for me to look at that particular aspect of culture. To me, it's an abuse. For me. So it lasted a long time.
Okay.
And it did because I didn't find alternative. I saw the reason that they will carry their leader and so on. I could read the mentality. And I delved into history a little. You know, when the white people came and enslaved us, they will go from the coast right down up to go and buy slaves and bring them. They were in a hammock, and the blacks were carrying them with their helmets. I suspect that when they left, our people saw it and they liked it. I suspect.
Okay.
So maybe copying is okay. Good copying is even better. So maybe they saw it and adopted it. Or maybe in those days also there were no streets, no cars, no roads. So when they're traveling with their leader, they thought out of respect, they shouldn't let the leader walk
on it.
They will carry. I can understand those rationale.
But you don't think that it's still relevant today?
We have cars, we have roads, nice roads. If you want to show, if I want to show, I'm being very careful here, going I, because it is me. I have decided to do what I'm doing. You see, and if I want to show the history of Ghana, how they carried one leader from one place to another, I'll bring them here. My palanquins are there. I will show them that this is the palanquin that they used to carry me. Then from there, we've changed. We've come to royal carriage. And besides, I saw the royal carriage in some other countries. For me, it was more comfortable, and it had dignity. Some royals use horses. Some animal lovers are objecting to it.
Wouldn't that be the case here?
No, I motorized it.
It's motorized?
Yeah, so my Nkwa will sit down, dressed traditionally, nicely, and I'll sit in with my queen mother. I put air conditioning inside. It's more comfortable.
This has been well thought through, and
yes, it has.
You've gotten exactly what it is that you want to replace this. Like you mentioned, after all this while, you've been able to achieve this.
Yes, sir.
Is that something that you would hope that other traditional leaders also, much as you say you personalize it, but do you think that it's something others should also be considering?
It will come. It will come. Some people are quick and have enough confidence not to care about who started it first, and they see the rationale behind it. They like it. They will come. It will happen. That's how culture is dynamic. It's not. As I gave you an example of somebody leader dies and they kill. They say it changed. There's a lot that we have changed, and what is this? And besides, in the olden days, whereby people out of love will carry their leaders, and these days we pay for it, you know.
Yes.
Well, I pay for it. If they want to carry me, they bargain with my elders. Then they charge me and I pay. So what is the point? What is the point? It's not out of respect or deference or I don't know what to say. So I said, no, this thing is offensive to me. It is not right. Because I have male children. If you tell them that they should go and carry me, maybe I won't agree. So other people's male children, it doesn't matter. Of course it does matter.
And I'll take you back to when you spoke about the artisans who built this place.
Yes.
And we speak about unemployment a lot in this country. There's no work. But we have very skilled people. If going by what has been done in this palace is anything to even go by, then we should not be worried so much. Why does it seem like Ghana is not taking advantage, or we are not moving along the lines of industrialization as it should be, when we have all these skilled people around?
I think that really and truly, honestly, I'm the wrong person to answer this. I don't have power to I mean, the little things that I do here that will employ the youth within my limited resources I've done, but most countries are managed by governments, not traditional leaders, politicians. So I leave it that with them.
So
I'm not a politician.
It's at the doorsteps of politicians that is.
Yes, I don't know how to do politics.
In all of the things you've done, have there been any particular figures or traditional rulers, anyone across board or sector that you have looked up to, who have influenced some of the things you've done?
Oh, all my life I've learned from the best. And whilst those that I have learned from, I have never even met them in my life.
Okay.
I hear that Yasantua was a brave lady, and if I get the opportunity and I get a book, I will read. And from there, I may learn a lot. There are people in the world, international, that I have admired, that I have read their biographies and I've learned a lot. And I have Ghanaians. This palace, the basic idea may be mine, but where it's ended up, it's not. Because I have friends who will come here and they say, Nana, if you did this, don't you think it would be better? Think about it, it's better, just demolish and do it. So I've learned from various people. Various. And the reason why I cannot mention, say in Ghana, I cannot mention people's name, not because I want to play funny. No. I will mention just like that, especially those I've learned from, they have helped me. The reason why I can't do that is that most people whose help I've appreciated are people who helped me during my socialization process when I was a kid. my mom, my father, my teachers, my head teacher, and people like that, they have impacted my life. When I grew up, I went to England when I was fairly young. So those who perhaps I can mention are those that I met. No, I didn't meet, those that I read about. But in Ghana, I've had plenty of help. The normal, nothing spectacular.
Now, Kushia is perhaps one of the towns I have seen as many statues as we have in Ghana. A lot of statues. Why do you have so many statues? And right in front of this palace, there are a number of, will I call them totems?
Yes.
There. Tell us the significance of all of these.
Statues. Have you seen my statues?
No,
Since
I
you've
haven't.
been here, I don't have.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, because it is not relevant. The totems, as you see, it's part of the design for the palace to show what Africa can do and to tell the story of how deep our philosophers, our ancestors, when they give you a creature, when they tell you that they give you a proverb, that there's a creature who has one head and two heads and one stomach. And yet when you put meat there for them to eat, they fight over it. I don't know of any country that has produced philosophers that have reasoned that way. So that is why I'm demonstrating, I'm exhibiting the primitive intellectual capacity of my ancestors.
You have a crocodile pond just right outside your palace. Why are you keeping crocodiles?
Because when I came from England, I had never seen a crocodile before, and I wanted to see crocodiles. I think this may have come from conversation, and I was told that I had to go to Paga. And clearly that was nonsense. I've been to secondary school, first year biology. I have to go to Paga before I see crocodile. So I got excavators, I dug a hole, put water inside, and went and got some fingerlings of crocodiles, put them there, and that's where they are. Just to show, please, sometimes Ghanaians will make you a hero when you don't deserve it. This is nothing. Aquatic habitat, you didn't do that secondary form 1. Then why are you traveling all the way? I'm not saying you shouldn't go to Paga by all means. If I get the opportunity, I will go to Paga too. I'll go anywhere in Ghana for that matter. But we can create a lot in our space. That's what I'm trying to prove.
Now there's a grave that you call the grave of is it unknown slaves?
The tomb of the unknown slave.
Tomb. What's the story around that?
I have a very good historian. His name is Ankra, a brilliant historian. And I called him to research into the history of Orenchi.
Okay.
With the Kushia as the Ahinkro, the capital. And clearly, and he supported this by evidence, both Ghanaians and the English, the colonials. And it was that the slaves going to the south, being taken to the south. Remember, there were no roads, no highways, nothing. They walked through the bush. And he said Kushia was one of the places that they walked through because of the Pra. They will follow the banks of Pra,
Okay.
which is going down the coast. So a lot passed through here. And as soon as I said that, I said, wow, then I can use also the slave story in Kushia, because clearly a lot did pass through here. And I said to myself, what can I do to use this also to enhance my tourism program? So I was thinking about it, and I remembered the tomb of the unknown soldier. If you go to European countries in the capital, you will see a statue of the tomb of the unknown soldier. When the general dies, they will give a statue of the general, his face, everything. He was born this, but the ordinary soldier, nobody did that for the ordinary soldier. They just represent them by a tomb of the unknown soldier who died to save this country. So I said, then I'll do the tomb of the unknown slave.
Which is a beautiful tomb.
Thank you. And to immortalize them and show respect and empathy. Try and put yourself in their space and see how they suffered for this country. I want the kids to see this. And they will ask questions, and you will tell them, this gentleman very likely traveled about 300, 400 kilometers. By the time he got here, was so weak, he died. I've given it a name, so that the youth will feel the ills of slavery. That is why any custom, tradition that has a slave connotations must be destroyed. Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. It is still there. And we ourselves, we use that. When people get positions, they use that to suppress. They use that to enslave. We haven't emancipated ourselves from mental slavery yet. So we use it every day. If you see a headmistress, when she appears, even teachers run away. If you see managing director, he goes in the lift, nobody can go into the same lift. Hey, if you see some minister coming out of that, hey, let alone. With AK-47. Now, these may not be necessary.
The Kushia story is a beautiful one, without a doubt. And if anyone was coming here, what would you want to tell them? Or what kind of memories would you want them to live here with, beyond the obvious?
What is obvious to you may not be obvious to me. Apart from, we've passed the sanitation, now we are in the pretty state. I want Kushia to be the prettiest.
Prettiest.
Yes. The neatest and the prettiest. You saw the flowers, the yellow flowers, and I had these flowers there. When they were doing the road, they just destroyed them because they expanded the width of the road. And so I just want the person, I'll have a signboard, leave Kushia as you found it. I want the person to have a mentality that he's going to replicate that in his own village, town, hamlet, whatever. That's what I want.
Ehunabubrim, Nana Pra, Ejensem, the set. Thank you very much for speaking with us. Lengthy conversation. I have learned a lot from here. I know I've stolen a number of things I want to replicate in my house one day. And we are grateful for the opportunity. It's such a great honor. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
So that's been our guest, Nana Pra Ejensem, the Sith traditional paramount chief of the Orenchi traditional area. Thank you all for joining us on this episode of People and Places from Asin Kushia here in the Central Region. Until another time, be kind to one another. My name is Eche Atisu.